What happens at back one of country music and number 39? Bigger stars alcove his breaking point on a live television. Today, we and number 39. Rediving into the atomic moment that had Blake Shelton affronted off the Today with Jenna and Friends show. Abrogation, millions of admirers abashed and the ball apple buzzing. This Isin and number 39. T. Aloof, edition celebrity account, gone wrong. This is a masterclass in how bound things can circling out of ascendancy, aback egos affray, and boundaries get crossed. Accomplish abiding to subscribe and be to animadversion beneath. Because you won and number 39. T. Accept how this able bearings unfolded. The morning started like any added on the Today with Jenna and a company show. Blake Shelton absolved to simulate the set with his brand grin. That amenable Oklahoma agreeableness that had fabricated him a domiciliary name. Jenna Bush Hager greeted him with her accepted activity, and the cameras formed as they acclimatized into what anybody accepted would be an archetypal promotional account for his latest album. Blake, end quote. It and number 39. So acceptable to accept you back on the show, end quote. Jenna said, her articulation ablaze and affable as she adapted her notes, end quote. You attending great, by the way? Country activity is alleviative, you well, end quote. Chuckled, clearing a back in his chair, end quote. Well, Jenna, you apperceive me. I and number 39. Im aloof, a simple guy aggravating to accomplish some music and adore life. Thanks for accepting me on again, end quote. The chat flowed calmly at first, affecting on his new music, his activity abroad from The Voice, and his accord with Gwen Stefani. Blake seemed relaxed, arise jokes, and administration belief with his accepted above demeanor. But things began to about-face aback Jenna and number 39, his co-host, who had been almighty quiet, absently to jump into the conversation. Quote, Blake, I accept. To ask, end quote. The co-host interjected, aptitude advanced with a austere expression. There in number 39. Has been a lot of allocution afresh about your able comments on amusing media. Some bodies are added you in number 39. V. Been tone deaf about assertive amusing issues. How do you acknowledge two critics who say you in number 39? Re out of blow with what in number 39? S. Accident. In America? The smile on Blake at number 39. His face flickered for aloof a moment. He straightened up slightly, and those who knew him able-bodied would accept a custom the attenuate admonishing signs. His jaw anchored about imperceptibly, and his easily, which had been gesturing advisedly, now adequate durably on the armrests of his chair, end quote. Well, end quote. Blake said, his articulation still controlled, but with a slight edge, end quote. I anticipate that in number 39. S.A. Appealing loaded catechism appropriate off the bat. I and number 39. V. Consistently been honest about who I am and area I appear from. I and number 39. Am not aggravating to be Article 1, and number 39, am not, end quote. Jenna seemed to faculty the restriction architecture and approved to beacon the chat aback to safer ground. Blake, let, and number 39. Allocution about your new single. Admirers are absolutely admiring it, and the video is incredible, but her co-host wasn't in number 39. T. Accessible to let go. I anticipate it in number 39. It's important that we abode these things. Blake, you accept a platform, you accept influence, and some bodies feel like you haven and number 39. T. Acclimated that responsibly. What do you say to adolescent admirers who attending up to you but feel let bottomward by some of your positions? Blake and number 39. Eyes narrowed hardly, and his articulation took on a bluff tone. Look, I acknowledge that you anticipate this is important. But I came actuality to allocution about my music, not to get ambushed about my claimed beliefs. I and number 39. VA never claimed to be a baby kisser or a amusing activist. I, in number 39, am a country singer. But Don in number 39, T, you anticipate that with abundant success comes abundant responsibility. The co-host apprenticed on blank the added afflictive atmosphere in the studio. Your articulation affairs to millions of people. My articulation affairs aback I in number 39. I'm singing. Blake advanced back. His Oklahoma draw acceptable added arresting. As his affliction grew, aback I in number 39. M, sitting in this chair. I and number 39. M, actuality as an entertainer, not as someone, and number 39. It's moral compass. And frankly, I Dan and number 39. T, acknowledge actuality lectured about albatross by addition who docen and number 39. By T, apperceive the aboriginal affair about my activity or what I angle for. Ch, jumped in quickly. Blake, we, and number 39. Re not aggravating to abode you at all. We aloof appetite to accept an honest conversation. Honest conversation. Blake laughed, but there was no amusement in it. An honest chat would accept started with absolution me. Apperceive this was activity to be some affectionate of balloon instead of an account about my music. Honest chat would account the actuality that I and number 39, actuality accomplishing UA. Favor by announcement my anthology on your show. The co-host wouldn't and number 39. Tia back down. I anticipate our admirers deserve to apperceive area their admired celebrity's angle on important issues. It and number 39. It's not about advancing you, Blake. It and number 39. S about accountability. Accountability. Blake and number 39. S articulation rose slightly. And he leaned. Advanced in his chair. Accountability for what, exactly? For actuality? Successful? For accepting opinions, that ability not band up altogether with whatever anecdotal you and number 39? Re-aggravating to advance here. I and number 39. V, never hidden who I am or area I appear from. The restriction in the flat was now palpable. Camera operators exchanged glances. Producers aside actively into their headsets, and Jenna looked at it atrocious. To achieve ascendancy of the situation, the account that was declared to be a animated advance for Blake in number 39. This new music had angried into article abundant, added confrontational. Blake Jenna approved again, her articulation demography on argumentation. Quality. Maybe we can aloof booty a footfall aback here. We in number 39. We all friends, right? Let in number 39. S. Allocution about article positive. Your bout is advancing up, and I apperceive admirers are aflame about that. But Blake Wazen and number 39. T accessible to let it go. The accident had been done, and his annoyance was now absolutely visible. You apperceive what, Jenna? I anticipation we were friends too, but a company Don and number 39. T said anniversary added up like this. Company Don and number 39. T allure addition on their appearance aloof to bang them with antic questions about actuality that has annihilation to do with why they and number 39. Re there. The co-host, acutely absent to how abominably things were going, absively to bifold down. Blake, I anticipate you in number 39. Reactuality a little arresting here. These are accepted questions that bodies are asking. We at number 39. Re-aloof, aggravating to accord you a belvedere to abode them. Defensive. Blake stood up abruptly, his microphone arranged communicable heartily on his chair. You appetite to see defensive? This is me actuality as affable as I can be while you sit. There and basically alarm me capricious and out of touch. I and number 39. They've been annihilation but admiring to you in your show, and this is what I get in return. The flat fell bashful except for the quiet hum of accessories and the abroad complete of aggregation associates alive uncomfortably. Jenna looked mortified. Acutely acumen that the account had gone absolutely off the rails. Her co-host, however, seemed to anticipate they were accepting some affectionate of advance moment. Blake amused, sit down. Let and number 39. As assignment through this together, I anticipate there and number 39. As a complete befalling actuality for you to affix with bodies, who ability feel alienated by some of your able statements. That was allegedly the final straw. Blake and number 39. S face went from balked to absolutely bent in the amount of a heartbeat, his easily clenched into fists at his sides. And aback he spoke. His articulation was low and dangerous. Fixed with bodies who feel alienated, he afresh slowly. Anniversary chat decrepit with contempt. You apperceive what alienates people? Accepting some allocution appearance, host 2 and number 39.
Yes.
Never absolved in their shoes, acquaint them what they should anticipate and feel. You appetite to allocution about actuality out of touch? Tending in the mirror? Jenna was aimlessly gesturing to her producers off camera, acutely atrocious for addition to cut to commercial. But the co-host seemed bent to advance this battle to its complete limit. Blake, I anticipate you and number 39. We're missing the point here. We and number 39. Re not aggravating to acquaint anyone what to think? We and number 39. Re aloof allurement you to booty albatross for the access you have? There it is again, Blake said, his articulation accepting louder with anniversary word. Responsibility. You accumulate application that chat like I owe you something. Like I owe anybody article aloof, because I can backpack a tune, and bodies appear to like my music. Let me acquaint you article about responsibility. My albatross is to my family, to my admirers who are absolutely affliction about my music, and to myself. It, and number 39. It's not to sit actuality and be your political punching bag. The co-host leaned aback, slightly, conceivably, assuredly acquainted that they had pushed too far, but it was far too backward to a back bottomward now. I, and number 39, am not aggravating to accomplish you a punching bag, Blake. I, and number 39, am aloof, aggravating to accept a elusive conversation. Meaningful. Blake laughed bitterly. You anticipate this is meaningful? You anticipate ambushing addition on a live television? And a fresh lecturing them about albatross is meaningful. This ISEN and number 39 T journalism. This ISEN and number 39 T alike acceptable television. This is aloof. You aggravating to accomplish yourself feel important by disturbing bottomward addition else. Jenna fabricated one after most atrocious advance to deliver the situation. Blake, please, let and number 39. Us aloof boudier, animation here. Maybe we got off on the amiss foot, but we can. About face this around. Your admirer's adulation, you, the adulation accepting you on the show. But Blake was already extensive for his microphone pack. His movements articulate and deliberate. You apperceive what, Jenna? I acclimated to anticipate. You were different. I anticipation you absolutely cared about your guests as people, not aloof as opportunities to account credibility or actualize ball for your ratings. Blake, that in number 39. That's not fair. Jenna protested, her articulation awry slightly. You apperceive that in number 39. S, not what this is about. Is, in number 39. T it. Blake challenged, his eyes afire as he looked amid Jenna and her co-host. Afresh explained to me why I absolved in actuality cerebration. I was activity to allocution about music and instead got advised like I in number 39. Active for office. Explain to me why every catechism has been advised to accomplish me attending bad or put me on the defensive. The key host abundantly absively to arrest again. Blake, I anticipate you in number 39. Reactuality, anytime acute here. These are questions that any accessible amount should be able to answer. Blake chock-full what he was accomplishing and stared at the co-host with complete disbelief. Anytime sensitive? Did you aloof alarm me, anytime acute for not absent to be ambushed on your show? I in number 39? M aloof adage that if you can, in number 39. T handle boxy questions, maybe you shouldn't, in number 39. TB accomplishing interviews, the co-host replied. Allegedly not acumen, they had aloof lit the final fuse. The blackout that followed was deafening. Blake stood altogether still for a moment, and anybody in the flat seemed to be captivation their breath. Aback he assuredly spoke. His articulation was baleful calm. End quote. If I can, and number 39. T handle boxy questions. End quote. Let me acquaint you article about administration boxy questions. I, in number 39. V, been accomplishing interviews for over 20 years. I and number 39. V been asked about aggregate from my divorces to my struggles with booze, to my political angle, to my accord with Gwen, I, and number 39. VA answered them all candidly and respectfully because that and number 39. S. What professionals do. He took a footfall afterpiece to the co-host, his articulation assent with anniversary word. But what you and number 39? Ray accomplishing ESN and number 39. T allurement, boxy questions. What you and number 39. Reaccomplishing is aggravating to actualize a moment, aggravating to get a reaction, aggravating to accomplish me, lose my air conditions so you can accept your viral clip. Well, congratulations. You got what you wanted. Blake, please. Jenna approved already more, but he captivated up a duke to stop her. No, Jenna. I and number 39. I'm done. I came actuality and acceptable acceptance to advance my music and maybe accept some fun with bodies, I anticipation, or my friends. Instead, I get advised like I and number 39. Am some affectionate a villain who needs to be taken bottomward a peg, started walking against the bend of the set. He fares his microphone backpack absolutely off as he moved. You appetite to apperceive what in number 39? Absolutely irresponsible? It and number 39? S. Application your belvedere to advance bodies instead of adulatory them? It and number 39. As apathy that the actuality sitting beyond from you is a animal actuality with feelings, not aloof agreeable for your show. The co-host, somehow still not accepting the message, called, end quote. After him, Blake, active abroad ISN and number 39. T activity to break anything, Y Dan and number 39. T you break and avert your positions, end quote. Blake chock full asleep in his advance and boring angry around. Attending on his face was one that anyone who had any time beyond him would recognize. A mixture of hurt, anger, and complete disgust. End quote. Denned my positions. End quote. He said, his articulation alarmingly quiet. Quote, denned them to who? End quote. End quote. To you, addition who acutely fabricated up their apperception about me afore I alike. Absolved through that door. Addition who thinks their job is to be judge, jury, and Apache instead of aloof allurement, questions, and absolution bodies allege for themselves. He befuddled his arch and let out a beam that captivated no amour whatsoever. You apperceive what? The complete botheration is here. It and hashtag 39 semicolon S. Not that I won, and number 39. T avert my positions. It and number 39. S that you never had any ambition of absolutely alert to them. You aloof capital to allurement me, to accomplish me attending bad, to account your points. End quote. Jenna was now visibly upset, tears basil in her eyes, as she watched one of her admired guests absolutely lose acceptance in her show. Blake, I never capitaled this to happen, amused Dan, and number 39. T leave like this. For a moment, Blake and number 39. S. Announcement ashen hardly as he looked at Jenna. I apperceive you dinnin, and number 39. T, Jenna, but this is what happens aback. You let bodies with agendas annex your show. This is what happens aback. You stop alleviative your guests like bodies in alpha. Alleviative them like political targets. He glanced aback at the co-host with apparent contempt. And as for you, achievement whatever you anticipate you able actuality was accounted. Because you aloof, austere, arch with addition who has never been annihilation but admiring to you in your show. The co-host abundantly still seemed to anticipate they captivated the moral aerial ground. Blake, I anticipate you and number 39. Overreacting. All I did was ask some questions that Bodie's appetite answered. Questions that Bodie's appetite answered. Blake and number 39. S articulation rose to about a shout. Or questions that you capital to ask because you anticipation it would accomplish acceptable television, because there in number 39 is a big aberration amid confined your admirers and confined your own ego. angry back against the exit, but afresh paused, and looked anon into the camera. You apperceive what? I anticipate the bodies watching at home deserve to apperceive what absolutely happened actuality today. They deserve to apperceive that I came actuality to allocution about music, to allotment some stories, to maybe accomplish bodies smile for a few minutes. Instead, I got lectured about albatross by bodies who allegedly anticipate their job is to breach bottomward anyone who dozin and number 39. T anticipate absolutely like they do. His eyes bound assimilate the camera lens with an acuteness that seemed to ability through the awning and grab. Its admirers by the collar. If you and number 39, rewatching at home, and you and number 39, V, any time acquainted like the media docen and number 39, A, represent you fairly, like they and number 39. Re-added, absorbed in creating ball, then absolutely alert to what you accept to say. Afresh you aloof watched it appear in complete time. The co-host confused uncomfortably in their chair, assuredly appearing to apprehend that Blake had aloof angry at the tables absolutely by speaking anon to the audience. He had bypassed them absolutely, and was now authoritative the anecdotal in. Away they had Dan and number 39, T anticipated. Blake I Dan and number 39. T anticipate that and number 39. S a fair assuming of what happened here? The co-host approved weakly, but Blake wasn't, and number 39. T finished. Fair. Blake angry abroad from the camera to face them again, his eyebrows aloft in disbelief. You appetite to allocution about fair? Fair would accept been cogent me afore we went on air that you planned to barbecue me about backroom. Instead of music, fair would accept been alleviative me with the aforementioned respect. I and number 39. V consistently apparent this appearance, and anybody on it. He gestured broadly at the set about him. I and number 39. Fee been advancing on this appearance for years. I and number 39. Fee've answer my albums here. I and number 39. Fee've aggregate, claimed stories. I and number 39. To be absorbing and 8 and carrot, because I anticipation that, and number 39, is what you wanted. But allegedly what you absolutely capital was adventitious to booty me down. Jenna was now above board crying, her anxiously activated architecture starting to run as she watched her appearance blast in complete time. Blake, I affirm to you I had no abstraction this was activity to happen. I would never accept capital this. Blake and number 39. Announcement ashen. Afresh as he looked at her, for a moment it seemed like he ability sit a back bottomward and try to assignment things out. Jenna, I accept you, I absolutely do. But the actuality that you didn't and number 39. T apperceive makes this alike worse because at agency addition on your own aggregation anticipation, they could use your appearance to ambuscade me after alike cogent you. He looked about the studio demography in the abashed faces of aggregation. Members, the agitated whispers of producers, and the accepted anarchy that his battle had created. This is what happens a backbody's balloon that television is declared to be about entertainment, about bringing bodies together, about authoritative their day a little brighter. Instead, it becomes about division, about antic moments, about authoritative. Bodies accept sides. The co-host, allegedly Butterfingers of Account the Room, fabricated one final advance to deliver their position. Blake, I anticipate you, and number 39. Reactuality arbitrary to our viewers, they and number 39. Reacute bodies who can handle circuitous conversations about important issues. Blake stared at them for a connected moment, and aback he spoke. His articulation was abounding with a affectionate of weary disappointment that was somehow added adverse than his beforehand anger. You apperceive what? You and number 39? We're absolutely appropriate about one thing. The admirers are acute people, art abundant to see appropriate through what you aloof approved to do here. Cute abundant to admit the aberration amid a 18-carat chat and a affected attack. He started walking against the avenue again, but connected talking as he moved, and they and number 39. Reacute abundant to apperceive that a back addition invites you assimilate there. Adherence to allocution about your music and afresh spends the absolute time aggravating to accomplish you attending like a bad person. That says a lot added about them than it does about you. Blake, amused Dawn at number 39, T leave like this, Jenna alleged. Out desperately. Can number 39. T we assignment this out. Can and number 39. We alpha over. Blake paused at the bend of the set and angry aback one final time. His acrimony seemed to accept austere itself out. Abrogation a baffed article that looked about like pity. Jenna, I, and number 39. VA got annihilation but account for you personally. But I can in number 39. T assignment this out because this ISN in number 39. T about me and you. This is about what your appearance has become. What television has become. A backbow is anticipate. Their job is to be prosecutors instead of hosts. He looked on at the co-host again. And as for starting over, well, some things can. And number 39, T be undone. Some bridges already you bake them, Dan. And number 39. T, get rebuilt. You fabricated your best about what affectionate of appearance you capital to accept today, and I, in number 39, am authoritative abundance about whether I appetite to be allotment of it. The co-host fabricated one after most atrocious advance to advance, some affinity of dignity. Blake, I achievement you in number 39. L, reconsider. I anticipate we could accept a absolutely advantageous chat if you in number 39. D aloof accordus addition chance. Blake absolutely smiled at that. But it wasn't in number 39, TA affable smile. Advantageous chat with addition, who aloof spent the aftermost 20 account. Aggravating to acrylic me as some affectionate a villain. With addition, who thinks ambushing guests is acceptable television, he befuddled his arch slowly. I Dan, in number 39. T anticipates so. He took a few added accomplish against the exit, a fresh chock full, and addressed the camera one final time. To anyone watching who in number 39, anytime been a fan of my music, who in number 39, anytime enjoyed the songs or appeared to a concert or aloof, had a acceptable time alert to country music. I appetite you to apperceive that this ISN in number 39, T about you, is about immediability. That and number 39's forgotten. How to amusement bodies with basal appropriateness and respect. His articulation grew stronger as he continued, end quote. I and number 39. L accumulate authoritative music because that and number 39. That's what I adulation to do. I and number 39. LL accumulate, assuming because I adulation abutting with bodies who acknowledge what I do. But I won in number 39. T accumulate subjecting myself to this affectionate of. Analysis from bodies who anticipate their platforms, accord them the appropriate to advance anyone who docin and number 39. T fit their narrative. Jenna fabricated one final plea. Blake, I affiance you, if you and number 39, L, aloof stay. We can fix this. We can accept the chat you came actuality to have. Blake looked at her with 8 sadness. Jenna, the chat I came actuality to accept was about music, about joy, about administration article, complete with people. That chat died about 15 account ago. Aback your co-host absentatively to about face this into a political inquisition. He pulled out his buzz and glanced at it briefly. I in number 39. V got a flat affair this afternoon with bodies who absolutely appetite to apprehend what I accept to say, not what they anticipate I should say. I in number 39. V got admirers advancing to my shows who appetite to sing forth to my songs, not agitation. My politics, that and number 39's area I belong. Not actuality accepting lectured by addition who thinks they apperceive bigger than I do about my own life. The co-host abundantly still couldn't in number 39. T abide accepting in one aftermost word. Achievement, you and number 39. L anticipate about what we discussed actuality today. I achieve met you and number 39. L exceed how your words and accomplishments affect added people. Blake chock-full asleep in his tracks. And for a moment, anybody in the flat anticipation he ability. About face about and abide the argument. Instead, he batten after attractive back, his articulation accustomed acutely beyond the bashful set. You appetite to apperceive what effects added people? Alleviate of them like animal beings instead of political targets, assuming them account instead of aggravating, to breach them bottomward for ratings. Architecture them up instead of attractive. For a means to accomplish them attending bad. He assuredly angry about one after most time. Maybe you should anticipate about how your words and accomplishments affect added bodies, because today they amount this appearance a bedfellow who consistently approved to be aroused. To be aroused annihilation, but able and respectful. Absolved. Off the Today with Jenna and a company show, abrogation, a BAFTA bash studio. A devastated host, and a co-host who assuredly seemed to accept the consequence of what had aloof happened. The cameras kept rolling for a few added seconds, capturing the afflictive blackout in Jenna and number 39. Tears afore assuredly acid to commercial. What started as a accepted promotional account had become one of the best affecting walk-offs in contempo. Television history, a moment that would be replayed, analyzed, and debated for months to come. Blake had fabricated his point in the best absolute way possible. The ball apple would never attending at celebrity interviews, absolutely the aforementioned way again. So, what did you anticipate about Blake and number 39? Atomic Avenue from the Today. With Jenna and a company show, is he appropriate to airing off a back the account took that abrupt turn? Or should he accept backward and approve to assignment through the confrontation? Bead your thoughts in the comments beneath, and accomplish abiding to subscribe for. Added abaft the scene's belief from the apple of entertainment. What added celebrity walk-off moments do you anticipate we should honor?